Hey guys, in this video we are going to be learning about an important organelle found in plants and is known as the plastid. So let's begin. Okay, so let us understand what are plastids. First thing you need to note down is that plastids are those organelles that are found only in plant cell. Why in plant cell? We will discover them in the later slides. So first thing to note down that they are found only in the plant cell. And this is a very important point because many a times you are also asked to differentiate between animal cell and a plant cell. So this is the one difference that you can write, that plastids are found in plant cell. However, they are absent in animal cell. Second thing, that plastid are of three kinds. You have just been hearing about plastids, or you've been hearing about chloroplast and chlorophyll in your junior classes, but in grade 9 you are going to learn that plastids are of three kinds. They are, first is chloroplast, then you have chromoplast, and the last one is leucoplast. So please do remember these three: chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. So chloroplast is the one that you have been studying in the previous grades, that it is green in color. It contains chlorophyll and helps in photosynthesis. All right. And chromoplast and leucoplast are the other two kinds. So chromoplast is the one which usually is pigmented, like it is going to give colors to the fruit, sometimes in the leaves, and also to the flowers. And when you talk about leucoplast, these are colorless and they have basic functions like storage of materials. All right, let's take a look at the structure, which I'm going to just speak about a very basic structure. I hope you can see this image clearly on the screen. And of course, you might have come across this image many a times in your textbooks too. So if you can look at it, if you can describe the structure, first of all, you will notice that it is somewhat spherical or ovoid, or it could be discoid, or maybe stellate, cup shaped, or spiral in some algae. Like in case of Spirogyra, you would have noticed in your previous classes that it is spiral shape. But when we are studying about it, you research anywhere, you will find this shape which I have given you. So mostly spherical or ovoid. Then what is their size? Of course, they are present inside the cell, so we will expect them to be extremely small. So they are usually 4 to 6 micrometer in diameter. And what about their numbers? So you could find them about 20 to 40 in number, and definitely, like every other organelle, they are scattered inside the cytoplasm. Then let's talk about further. You will find some kind of a resemblance between the mitochondria and the chloroplast. They are somewhat similar when you describe them. So just like in mitochondria we had two membrane, and between the two membrane there was an intermembrane space, same is here with the structure of this plastid. So you can see the chloroplast, you can see that it is bounded by two lipoprotein membrane, and you can make out the intermembrane space, like here it is pointed out. Then the inner membrane encloses a matrix. So there is a matrix, just like inside the mitochondria you had a matrix. Similarly here you have a matrix. Now when you were doing mitochondria, they were cristae, the finger-like projections that were helping in the generation of ATP. But here you will have a stroma. Stroma is this greenish thing that you can see. And then in this stroma you will find that there you see as if the coins have been stacked together. So these coin like structure, they are known as granum. So this is what you need to know so far in the plastid, and this is the structure of plastid. So very basic. So you can remember the shape, you can remember I think if you can remember, you can remember the size, how many they are number. You can always say that they all are double membrane. You can talk about the intermembrane space. You can talk about having a matrix, then the stroma and the grana. So this is all about the structure of plastid. Okay, so let's start with our first kind of plastid, which is chloroplast, and the one which you all are very, very familiar with. You have done this in your junior classes. Mostly you have talked about chlorophyll, and definitely I remember that there was a mention of chloroplast in grade 8 and in grade 7 book, also with the diagram of the chloroplast. So chloroplast is the one which has green color. So can you see this image? If you see this image, you will find these greenish tiny structures inside the cell. So these are your chloroplasts. They contain the green pigment chlorophyll. So do you remember that what does chlorophyll do? Yes, of course you do, because the green pigment chlorophyll, it helps the plant to make its food, and this process is referred to as photosynthesis. So green pigment chlorophyll is that important pigment that is helping in trapping the sunlight. So we can very confidently say that chloroplast help the plant in carrying out photosynthesis, and they are green in color. Let's talk about the second important plastid, and that is chromoplast. So chromoplast are those plastids which will provide different types of pigment to various parts of the plant, which could be the fruits, the aging leaves, or most importantly our flowers. And in some cases you might find colored leaves also, like that of a croton. So what is the purpose? Usually, of course, the purpose is to make them look attractive. There will be animals who will be getting attracted to a different or brightly colored fruit. They will eat this seed, and they will eat the fruit, and once the fruit is eaten, they will drop the seed somewhere, so they will accidentally help in the dispersal of the seed. Then secondly, the flowers are also brightly colored due to these chromoplasts, different pigments. They could be orange, red, purple, yellow. So the bees, the butterflies, or the tiny birds, they will get attracted. They will come to collect the nectar to these brightly colored flowers and help in the pollination of the flower. So this is the importance of chromoplast. Okay, so the last plastid that we are going to be talking about is the leucoplast. So let us understand what a leucoplast is. It is a non-pigmented organelle. That means it will not carry any color inside it. It is usually, associated with white color or being colorless. Then where will they be found? Of course, they will be found in the non-photosynthetic part, or parts which are under the ground, which are not visible to the sunlight. So mainly in the roots. Okay, roots are the places where they are seen in a large number. Then what is their function? Why are they there? If they are not going to give any color to the plant, or there is no pigment, then what is the usage of these leucoplasts? So their main important function is the storage. So what can they store? They can store different types of things, like they can store starch, they can store lipids, and they can store proteins. And they are also used for synthesizing amino acids and fatty acids, since they are being associated with proteins and lipids. So they are also helping in the synthesis of amino acid. Now there are specific names given to the leucoplast according to the substance that it is storing. So for example, if it is storing starch, we can call it an amyloplast. If it is storing fat, then we can call it elaioplast. If it is storing protein, then you can refer to as proteinoplast. So these are the three types of leukoplast. Of course, I'm giving you some little extra bit of information here. So if that is too much for you to learn, you can just remember that leukoplast is non-pigmented. It will not carry any color. It is found in the non-photosynthetic parts of the plant, especially the roots, and their main function is that of storage. And please, if you will add that it can store starch, lipids and protein, so it will be great. That's what your teacher will be looking at, and she is going to be impressed by that type of knowledge. So hope that is now clear to you. Okay guys, I hope you remember that while we were doing the mitochondria in the video that which I had made on mitochondria, in the last slide I mentioned about a self-replicating and semi-autonomous nature of mitochondria. You remember that? So just let us just recapitulate that. So mitochondria is that organelle which has the DNA and ribosome. Along with it, I did mention that the plastids are a second organelle found in plants which contain DNA and ribosome. So they are also semi-autonomous or self-replicating in nature. This is, sometimes just to trick you, they can ask this question: name organelles which are self-replicating or semi-autonomous. So you can remember this from there. Okay, so I hope you all have been able to understand about plastids. You are able to understand what you should be writing in your paper. So you should be able to mention a bit about the structure, the kinds of plastids, little about the function of each type of plastid and their self-replicating nature. So I think that that's about it. Not too difficult to learn or to memorize, right? And of course my video is always there. You can watch it again and again so that you are able to easily remember and recall during your exams. So if you think this video has been helpful to you, then please like, share and subscribe. And if there is anything different that you want me to do, or if there is a particular topic that you would like me to do for you, then please write that in the comments below. I will try my best to bring that to you. Thank you. Bye bye.